What's up, everyone? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Game, and now we're back with the NFL predictions for Week 3. Sorry if this is uploaded kind of late. It will be uploaded before the Thursday night game, but still. So, after an Week 1 where we only won 8 of the 15 games, we did really good last week, going 13-3 and getting 120 points. So we are at 191 on the season. Something I did a lot of last week was I picked a few upsets. I picked the Texans. I'm a little surprised that's an upset. I picked the Redskins. Also a little surprised that's an upset. I picked the Lions. I'm a Lions fan. I'm a very biased Lions fan. And I did really good. I picked some more upsets this week around I believe 4, 5, and 6 were all upsets, which is really good. What I mean by 4, 5, and 6 is like the points. I pick each team, pick each game, and I give each team like a certain amount of points, 1 through 16. And then I get 1 point. Let's say we have the Seahawks and the Browns, and I pick the Browns with 1 point because I think the Browns are going to win, but I'm not super confident, so I pick them with 1 point. That was a very bad example because the Browns suck and the Seahawks are good. So if the Browns would win, I would get 1 point. If the Seahawks win, I would get 0 points. But let's say we have the Texans and the Saints, and I'm really confident the Saints are going to win, but I'm going to pick them with, let's say a 16. If the Saints win, I get 16. If the Texans win, I get a 0. Pretty simple. I will not pick a 16 with the Saints over the Texans. I'd probably pick the Saints over the Texans, but not that high. So let's get to the picks. So first we have the Eagles and Giants. The Eagles and Giants both lost last week. The Eagles are 1-1 and the Giants are 0-2. The Eagles are at home, but I am picking the Giants because the Giants do not want to start 0-3, and they're a solid team. So I'm picking the Giants simply because of that. If they were 1-1, this would be more of a toss-up. I mean, I'd probably still pick the Giants with 1 point. So that honestly doesn't make much of a difference. But basically, if you guys are confused, I'm picking the Giants with 1 point. So if they win, I got 1 point. If the Eagles win, I get 0 points. The next game we have is the Seahawks and Titans. I'm a little surprised this is an upset, but I am picking the Seahawks win. I understand why people would pick the Titans. I'm really high on them this year, but they do have a few injuries. Corey Davis is out. DeMarco Murray might be out, and Derrick Henry is still solid. But I'm picking the Seahawks to win this game. The Titans are 1-1. The Seahawks are 1-1 as well. The Seahawks, especially on offense, have not looked that good. However, I think they're gonna come out of their shell this week and do well. You guys probably know that I'm a Detroit Lions fan. I'm a very biased Lions fan. Picked them last week, and I'm picking them again. The Falcons are 2-0, but they did not look that good against the Bears week 1. But they did look like they held their own last week and their win over the Packers. Meanwhile, for us, we had 2 very solid wins against the Cardinals and the New York Giants, who are 2 ant teams, but not awful teams. But I am picking the Lions. I could see why the Falcons could win this game, but we are at home, which is really clutch. And something that struggled for us this year is our offensive line, which normally always struggles, but we do have TJ Lang and Ricky Wagner, so I'm a little surprised. And the Falcons pass rush is not great, and they don't have Vic Beasley, so that makes it even worse. So for just a mini recap so far, I picked the Giants with a 1, the Seahawks, the Seahawks with a 2, the Lions with a 3, and I'm going to pick the Rams with a 4. What a Thursday night game, Rams and Niners. Who wants to see that? I'm raising my hand. No, just kidding. Both teams suck. But the Rams have been solid. They didn't look awful against the Redskins, and they beat the Colts by almost 40. The Niners have been trashed like we expected them to. I don't think the Rams are going to win more than 6 games. I had them winning 2 games at the beginning of the year, so the fact that they might go 2-1 is kind of crazy, but I'm going to pick the Rams with a 4. Just to let you guys know, in my NFL predictions video, my 2 AFC wildcards were the Colts and the Bengals. After week 1, I realized that was not happened as they got outscored 66-9. And that's definitely showing, considering I'm picking the Browns to beat the Colts with a 5. The Browns have not been great. They're 0-2, but the Colts, they lost to the Rams by almost 40. They were better last week. They made it to overtime against Arizona, but they still lost. I'm picking the Browns to win this game. I think that's an upset probably. And my next game is even more of an upset. The Saints are 0-2 and the Panthers are 2-0. But I'm still picking the New Orleans Saints to win this game. Despite the Panthers' 2-0 record, they've played the 49ers and the Bills and have not looked that good. Especially last week against the Bills. Their offense has not been good, but mainly just because of their offensive line. You need a good offensive line to do good in the NFL. If the Giants had a good O-line, They would be Super Bowl contenders, but I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders because of their offensive line, Mr. Eric Flowers. Eric Flowers sucks. But I am picking the Saints. I'm very high on their offense this year. Drew Brees and their three running backs, Peterson, Ingram, and Alvin Kamara. It seems like Peterson's not the lead back. I haven't really watched much Saints games, so I'm assuming it'd be Ingram over to Kamara. Michael Thomas is someone I'm really high on, and their defense isn't great, but the Panthers' offense has been garbage this season. They have an defensive line. They have Cameron Jordan, who's an excellent pass rusher. They have Sheldon Rankins, who I loved coming out of college. We haven't really seen him make a huge impact yet, but I am picking the Saints to win this game. After an insane Week 1 victory over the Houston Texans, the Jaguars kind of did what we expected them last week and lost to the Titans, and now they have the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're going to lose. I'm picking the Ravens with a 7. Now, the Ravens, I don't think they're that good, but they've had 2 really easy games against the Bengals and the Browns, and they have another easy one against the Jaguars. So they're going to be 3-0, but I think they're at best a 2-1 team. Probably 1-2 in my opinion. I don't think they're very good, honestly. I mean, I thought the Bengals were going to be better. Probably not now. Probably my wild cards are the Broncos. And, man, that AFC West is good. I would not be surprised if 3 teams in that division made the playoffs. Not only that there are 3 really good teams in the division, but, like, who else is going to be the wild card? The Texans? The Texans are the best bet after the Broncos, Chiefs, or Raiders. And the Texans aren't that good. They don't know who their quarterback is. While Kareem Hunt and the Chiefs have been dominating, the Chargers have found creative ways to blow fourth quarter leads. I don't know if they're going to blow another fourth quarter lead, but I do know they're going to lose this game against the Chiefs. After an insane debut from Kareem Hunt, he had a very solid week against the Eagles last week, and I would not be surprised if we saw the same once again from Kareem Hunt and the Kansas City Chiefs. They have a phenomenal defense, and their offense has been very solid this year, and I thought the Chiefs were going to miss the playoffs due to the offense being extremely weak. So I'm picking the Chiefs with an 8, the Ravens with a 7, Saints with a 6, Browns with a 5, etc., etc. And then now we have the Redskins and Raiders, the Sunday night game. I'm picking the Raiders. I really think they can make some noise. They're my second favorite team behind the Lions. I am a second team bandwagon. This is my second year of rooting for them. I hop on the bandwagon but before they're officially good. The Timberwolves would be the team that I jump off the bandwagon now, which I do like the Timberwolves a lot. They're probably my top 5 favorite teams in the NBA. But I'm picking the Raiders to win this game. The Redskins were solid last week, but not great against the Rams, who I do think are trash. Their offense is Kirk Cousins is a pretty underrated quarterback. I don't really like their running back situation, and their receiver situation isn't great. They do have a good tight end and offensive line, and their defense isn't great. I'm picking the Raiders. Derek Carr is excellent. Marshawn Lynch has been pretty good. Amari Cooper has been excellent. They have a top, probably 2 or 3 offensive line in the league, and they have a very young, up-and-coming defense. Are Jay Cutler and the freaking Dolphins about to go 2-1? Yep, because they're playing the Jets. And the Dolphins, I think, are going to win this game. A little surprised for 2-1 without Tannehill and with Jay Cutler. But, both of these teams sucks. Patriots have a division in the bag, with the other team being the Bills. And the Bills aren't much better, but I'm picking the Dolphins with a 10. Bills and Broncos, I'm picking the Broncos with an 11. They looked excellent last week against the Dallas Cowboys, which is a very, very solid team. And their offense looked phenomenal. C.J. Anderson, Simeon, and company. Their defense, Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, one of the best defensive units in the league. I know I picked the Colts to make the playoffs in my NFL predictions video, but at the beginning of the season, I kind of got a little more logical and realized the Broncos are going to make the playoffs instead of the Colts, which might be right. I wish I put the Chiefs over the Bengals, but I'm stupid. But I am picking the Broncos to win this game with 11 points. The Bills just are not really good. They did win, but they played the Jets. They did not, at least offensively, they did not look good last week. 2 teams that I was very confident going into last week were the Texans and the Patriots. And they're playing this week. I'm pretty sure you know who I'm guessing to win. The Houston Texans, just kidding, I wish. But I'm picking the Patriots with a 12. For obvious reasons, they looked really good last week when they needed to win. They don't need to win, but obviously they're better than the Texans. I think we can all agree on that. They have a better offense, 2 very good defenses. I'd say the Patriots is a little better, though. Patriots might have the best defense in the league with Tom Brady as quarterback. After an excellent Week 1 for the Minnesota Vikings offense with Sam Bradford, Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, Thielen, and company, Sam Bradford did not play last week due to a knee injury. Don't know if he's going to play again. But overall, I am picking the Bucs to win. Vikings lost to the Steelers last week pretty convincingly, mainly because they didn't have Sam Bradford. And their offense is trash. Their offensive line sucks. As a Lions fan, I know how bad Riley Reef is, so I feel bad for them in a way. But I think the Bucs are better anyway. They looked really good last week against the Bears after having Week 1 off due to Hurricane Irma. And there's another Category 5 comment, which just sucks. But I'm picking the Bucs to win. Pretty simple. I'm very high on them. I cannot speak. I am winning the division going into the season, which, I mean, they look like they're capable of winning the division. The Bears have played both the Bucs and the Falcons, and the Bucs look much better against them than the Falcons did. For a mini recap, I'm picking the Bucs with a 13, Patriots with a 12, Broncos with an 11, Dolphins with a 10, etc., etc. Now you have the Cowboys and Cardinals, two teams that did not look good last week. Despite the Cardinals winning, they played the Colts and it went into overtime. And I really have not had faith in them. I did not have faith in them this year. They lost David Johnson. Their offense sucks. Their offensive line's not good. Larry Fitzgerald's old. Carson Palmer is continuing to get a lot worse. And the Cowboys, I think they're going to rebound from this game. They looked really good Week 1, especially defensively against the good offense in the Giants. But then again, the Broncos' offense isn't that good. And they scored, 45 points, I think? But I'm picking the Cowboys to win this game. I really like Dak. Zeke, I don't like, but I do think Zeke's pretty good. I do think he's a little overrated. I think Dak deserves a little more credit. I've liked him since, a year or two before he got drafted at Mississippi State. But I'm picking the Cowboys to rebound this week. I started the Dak wagon. I hate the Cowboys, but I started the Dak wagon. When the Cowboys drafted him, I was kind of upset. After Week 1, I learned that the Bengals suck. And they do suck. No touchdowns offensively this year. They just fired their offensive coordinator. Marvin Lewis, I believe, is on one more year of his contract, so it seems like the Bengals are going to let him ride him out and then let him go at the end of the season. He's been there forever. Don't know why he still has a coaching job for them. Picking the Packers, they lost last week to Atlanta, but they're much better than the Bengals. They should easily win this game, so I'm going to pick the Packers with a 15. I'm pretty convinced. Last but not least, we have the Steelers and the Bears. The Steelers haven't looked that insane. They almost lost to the Browns Week 1. And Week 2, they won pretty convincingly against the Vikings 20-9, but the Vikings did not really have a chance with Case Keenum. And meanwhile, the Bears, their season's pretty much lost. I'd like to say they have a tough division. The Vikings are kind of overrated. The Packers are the Packers. And my Lions are 2-0. But then again, the Eagles were 3-0 last year, and the Vikings were 5-0 last year, and they both were 8-8. We gave the Eagles their first loss, and we gave the Vikings 2 losses. So we had a lot to do with both of those teams. Kind of falling down. But I'm picking the Steelers to win this game regardless. I think Le'Veon Bell has been rusty, mainly because he hasn't really been in training camp preseason. I think he's going to be solid this week. I don't think he's going to be insane, maybe 80, 90 yards. I think Ben Roethlisberger is going to have a field day on this Bears defense. And the Bears offense is not great. Jordan Howard hasn't really been insane. I was kind of believing he was a little bit of a rookie fluke, but I also at the same time think he's still going to be a really good pro. So I'm picking the Steelers with a 16. I'm very confident they're going to win. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I do as good as I did last week, but that's going to be really hard. So hopefully Illinois will be tonight. Also, sorry to not stream the online My League. I was going to today, but then I lost track of time. So that's it for me. If you're new, make sure to like and sub to #OctagonalNation. And I'm out, guys. Peace.